Minnesota. For 25 years, your home for Minnesota Twins baseball.
Number 17, walk-off hit. Driven to deep center field. Diaz going back. That ball's gone. A home run. Driven to deep center. That ball is tattooed. Hicks to the wall. Legs. He caught it. Unbelievable. A deep fly to left center field. This ball's up. It is back. Have a night, young man. Very nice.
Last night, Aaron Hicks produced the most memorable 37 minutes Twins fans have witnessed in a long time. 3 magic moments from a rookie center fielder who struggled mightily in April, making his mark now in May. Tonight, Hicks hopes to build on that performance as the Twins take on the White Sox on a 97-degree night. The boys of summer finally feeling at home. Twins cranked out 10 runs last night in the series opener, but Jake Peavy will apply pressure at the plate this evening. Kevin Correa looks to settle down after hiccups in his last 2 starts. An A-plus performance for Aaron Hicks last night. It was quite an evening to watch this rookie center fielder. Ron Coomer, the question is, what can a performance like this do for him in the future?
Well, Tom, some plays in some games and plays in a game are just game-changing for the player and for the team. Sometimes you have a game that could be season-changing for you or possibly career-changing. Aaron Hicks has really been struggling. That's no secret. But last night, a young guy as talented as he is, you talked about his confidence level going right through the roof again like he was in spring training. A night like last night will change his entire season, or definitely could. He swung the bat aggressive after the first home run. He goes out and makes a great play. The whole package last night was great for Aaron Hicks, including that.
Hicks searching for consistency now. Up next, Dick and Bert break down the Twins' emerging offense. Major League Baseball's most explosive in terms of runs scored in the month of May. Game 2, the Twins and White Sox, next on Fox Sports North.
Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Kevin Correa has been Minnesota's most reliable starting pitcher, and the Twins hope they can rely on him tonight to give them a quality start. Hopefully a win against the Chicago White Sox, but a tough assignment tonight for the Twins lineup. They've got to go against one of the league's best, right-hander Jake Peavy. And we welcome you to Target Field. Where did this summertime weather come from? Who cares? We'll take it. Very warm here tonight at Target Field. Dick and Bert with you for Game 2. And the Twins lineup, even though their top run producer from a year ago, Josh Willingham, is going through one of the worst slumps he's ever gone through, this lineup has been suddenly very productive.
Yeah, there's a couple guys in the lineup, especially Mauer and Morneau, that are swinging a hot bat. But over the last 7 ball games, the Twins are 5-2. 74 hits over the 7 games, hitting almost at 300 and averaging over 7 runs a game. The work's going to be cut out for them here tonight because, as you mentioned, Dick, Jake Peavy pitching for the Chicago White Sox. He has pitched outstanding over his career against the Twins.
Kevin Correa had an awesome first month as a Minnesota Twin, and his last couple of starts in May a little bit off his mark. We'll see if he can get back on the beam here tonight.
Whether last night was a coming out party for Aaron Hicks depends on what happens tonight and tomorrow afternoon and so on and so forth. But the rookie taking the field along with his Twins teammates, taking on Robin Ventura and the Chicago White Sox. Ventura had his way with the Twins last year, but the Twins have won all 3 games so far this year between Chicago and Minnesota. The Menards batting order for the White Sox in Game 2. Alejandro De Aza, Alexei Ramirez, Alex Rios, Adam Dunn, Diane Viciedo, Connor Gillespie, Jeff Keppinger, Dwayne Wise, and then the catcher, Tyler Flowers.
And Kevin Correa making his 8th start, his first career start against the Chicago White Sox. And 5 of his 7 starts have been quality starts, and he's pitched very well here at home at Target Field.
De Aza takes a strike on the outside corner. One of the biggest shortcomings for the Twins starting staff so far this year, giving up early runs and an awful lot of first inning runs. Now, Correa's been less guilty of that than the rest, but he'd love to put a couple zeros up here and get the game off on the right foot.
Yeah, Correa, what we have seen, very good tempo. He doesn't spend a lot of time, walking around the mound. He's already set, looking for the sign from Joe Mauer. Let's go.
1-1. Breaking ball over for strike 2.
And that's what you'll see from Correa. Not a strikeout pitcher, a career or a season high 5 that he's had in a ball game, both of those in April. But he's coming off a victory at Fenway Park where he pitched 5 1/3 innings, gave up 3 runs, only 1 strikeout. Twins won that game 5-3.
Busted bat and a bouncer hits the bag. Morneau stays with it. Correa right where he should be, 1 away. That ball bounced, I think, most of the time down the line in foul territory, but it hit the bag. Here's the Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Josh Willingham in left, Aaron Hicks in center, Chris Parmalee in right, Arcia the designated hitter, Plouffe, Florimone, Dozier, Morneau the infielders, and Mauer behind the plate. Someone named Jordan Baker is the home plate umpire. I can't say that I've ever seen him umpire before. Dan Bellino, Wally Bell, and Manny Gonzalez last night, another.
I'm sure his parents are very proud of him.
And they should be.
Yes.
Sharply hit. And off the bottom of Florimone's glove, and Ramirez will be aboard with a likely hit.
Yeah, that little short hop right there, Florimone tried to play it off to the side, and the ball ended up hitting his glove, but then deflected away. Right there, that little short hop, tough, nasty little play right there, tough to catch. And Florimone could not. It will be a base hit for Ramirez, who picked up 3 hits in last night's ball game.
Alex Rios, the batter. Up and in, ball 1. One of the things that Correa does very well is hold runners. Ramirez, one of the few base stealing threats that the White Sox have. But there have been, in nearly 50 innings, only 2 stolen base attempts against Correa. And there's a ground ball to Dozier. And just like that, Correa pitches a scoreless first inning through a whopping 6 pitches. Menard's batting order for game 2. Brian Dozier, followed by Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Chris Parmalee, Trevor Plouffe, Oswaldo Arcia, Aaron Hicks, and Pedro Florimone.
And that lineup facing Jake Peavy, for Peavy's making his 7th start, his 2nd against the Twins. He worked in a Saturday game in Chicago on April 20th. He pitched a great ball game. Only gave up 1 run in 7 innings, but the Twins ended up beating the White Sox 2-1 in 10 innings. But Peavy, we showed you the numbers in the open. He's always pitched very well here at Target Field and against the Twins.
Dozier, Mauer, and Willingham here in the first. Strike on the inside corner.
Peavy, just like Correa, doesn't spend a lot of time, wandering around the mound, set to throw. Good tempo all the time.
And a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Twins want Dozier to stop popping the ball up. He's had a lot of fly balls and pop-ups since he's been moved into the leadoff spot. In a tough spot here now, 0-2. 1-2.
Well, fastball, that's a slider right there by Peavy. Fastball, four-seamer, two-seamer. Four-seamer pretty straight. Two-seamer will have some sink on it. When he's on, he'll get a lot of ground ball outs. 3, another slider.
Beaten on the ground. A nice hop for Gillespie. And a high throw. Down the lands on the bag. The bag says, ouch. 1 away. Here's the Northland Ford defense for the White Sox. Diaza in left, Wise in center, Rios in right, Gillespie, Ramirez, Keppinger, Dunn, Flowers. Second game in a row that Paul Konerko's been out of the lineup. We expect him to be in the lineup for the finale tomorrow at noon.
You think that first base bag actually said ouch? I mean, Dunn's a big man, 6'6", about 285.
One down. Here's Joe Mauer. Foul back. All Mauer has done in the month of May is hit .465.
Yeah, currently on a 12-game hitting streak. That was a season high last year, a career high 16-game. Let's see if Joe can do that. But his mound opponent again, very tough, and that being Jake Peavy.
And Mauer's hitting .310 against him with a home run, 5 walks. 1-1 to Mauer. And he takes a strike. Well, talked about Mauer last night. 29 hits and what his extraordinary batting average is with 2 strikes. The Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index just off the plate, 2-2.
That's what he does so well. I mean, that pitch right there, that's that two-seam sinking fastball. Joe just kind of looked at it and said, okay, that's outside.
2-2. Base hit. His hitting streak is extended in his first at bat.
Well, he just missed with a sinker down and away, so he tried to come in on Joe, and Joe, so quick, just fought it off and hit it into center field.
My concern is
exactly where he wanted that pitch, and you have to credit Joe. Look how quick he opened up, and still able to get the barrel of the bat on that ball and line it in the center.
My concern is, though, for the bat, because that sounded like that bat that I've been talking about for a week and a half might have finally cracked.
He said he has 2.
I
Don't
know
worry about it.
Strike on the outside corner. The deal is that if and when that bat cracks, I've offered publicly on TV, I'll pay the Twins for it, $50. I want that bat.
You are so generous. It's unbelievable.
We'll put it to the Twins Community Fund, whatever. I want that bat. There's a bouncer to short. And each half
I'll
inning,
give 100.
each half inning ends with a ground ball double play as Willingham's struggles continue.
into the second inning. Well, everybody is talking about Aaron Hicks' big night at the plate last night, but it wasn't just those 2 home runs that impressed Ron Gardenhire. He also appreciated the walk that Hicks drew after he hit his second homer. Gardy said that showed a lot of maturity. Hicks not trying to do too much up there, just doing his part, and hey, he ended up scoring a run off that walk. So as Gardy told me, the great part about baseball is you get to enjoy a big night all night. The worst part, the next day, it doesn't mean anything. So Dick and Bert, we will look for Hicks to turn the page because the daily battle at the plate starts all over again tonight.
Thank you very much, Jamie. You're absolutely right. If he goes 0 for 4 tonight, it's going to be just as ugly as it was before last night.
Well, you know what? You enjoy the nights that you have success, and you hope that it carries over, and will just keep that confidence factor going.
To deep left center, and that one's not going to be caught. Dunn sends one into the Twins bullpen. He hit it someplace where Aaron Hicks couldn't catch it.
Adam Dunn hitting his 7th home run of the year, and you see the power that he can generate when he does make contact. Yes, he strikes out a lot, but boy, when he makes contact, that ball to left center, that went into the Twins bullpen, the back of the bullpen. Ball left up for Correa, his 5th home run allowed. This is his 8th start. Yeah, terrible sound.
Ooh. Here's Viciedo. Pitch is up. Ball 1. I think what we've seen across the board, and now we've seen more of it from Correa in May than we certainly did in April. There's another blast. That one's gone. Into the 3rd deck. 2-0. I was just going to say what we've seen from Correa and most of the other Twin starters. Too many pitches up around the belt. This is a pitch to contact team or pitching staff. And to survive with that approach, you've got to keep the ball down around the knees.
Yeah, and that looked like a slider right here, a breaking ball. It just kind of spun. And Viciedo hits his 3rd home run of the year.
I don't see too many into the 3rd deck.
No.
Another one left up, and it's spanked into center.
That's Jose Batista's area up there.
Yeah. Well, the last 4 balls have been hit very sharply. The last 5 balls, actually. Ramirez's single. Rios hit his ground ball double play right on the button to Dozier. And now a pair of home runs. And a sharp single. Still nobody out. And Jeff Kempinger. Correa just throwing a handful of pitches here, but it's been very loud around home plate. Strike 1.
That's better right there. Correa was able to get a double play in that 1st inning. His 6th double play turn behind him on the mound. We saw it last night with Hernandez. He had struggled in the 1st inning, but then he settled down. He made the adjustment. Correa has had a lot more starts than Hernandez, and he knows what he needs to do here, and that's to get the ball down in the strike zone.
Just 4 home runs allowed this year before this 2nd inning. A swinging strike. 0-2.
His home runs allowed have come in bunches. He gave up 2 home runs here against the Angels back on April 15th, and then the other 2 home runs he gave up in Cleveland. So 2 here. There should be no more. There we go. Another double play.
Florimon to Dozier. Plenty of time to get the double play. When you join the Twins season ticket family this year, you'll be hitting the sweet spot. Purchase any of the Twins season ticket packages and receive 10% off food, beverage, and merchandise bought at Target Field. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. Check out the options, learn about the benefits that come along with Twins season tickets. 2 away, here's Dwayne Wise.
Wise, a veteran. This is his 2nd stint back with the Chicago White Sox. 11th major league season.
1 strike to Wise. And now a ball. Correa has thrown 2 pitches to his 8th batter, and he's only thrown 17 pitches total.
Yeah, early this afternoon, the White Sox had infield outfield practice around 1, 2 o'clock in uniform, complete uniform. Robin Ventura making sure, and that's one area that, offensively they can hit the ball, long ball. They're hitting only .229. This was more on the defensive side. He kind of brought everybody out here, the whole team, and worked on fundamentals, especially cutoffs.
And a soft liner, Morneau backhands it. That ends the inning. Couple of tape measure home runs to start the 2nd inning, and the White Sox again jump out in front, 2-0. Justin Morneau, Chris Parmelee, Trevor Plouffe to face Jake Peavy in the Twins' 2nd. Down and in, ball 1. Morneau approaching the 300 mark for a batting average at breakneck speed. 3 hits last night. A couple of hits tonight, and he'll be there. Down and in, 2-0. Driving the ball for a good part of the first 6 weeks of the year. A lot of his hits were just little soft flares or pop-ups. He's stinging the ball again, and he takes a strike, 2-1.
We'll keep an eye on Jake Peavy, too, because he's a pitcher that talks to himself out there. You'll see him sometimes really get upset at himself. He shows a lot of emotion.
Scalded. That's a foul ball. Dan Bellino said it was foul. And for him to look at it, all he had to do was look at his shoe tops, because that ball landed right at his feet.
Well, that ball was scorched right there down that first baseline. And Bellino, who is kind of straddling the line, look where he's at right there. He's watching the flight of that ball and then gets out of the way. And boy, it did not miss by much. Dunn couldn't get it.
Ooh, did he kick up a little chalk there?
I don't believe it did.
2-2. Now 3-2. Parmelee on deck.
Jake Peavy in his 5th season with the White Sox, 13th major league season. Cy Young Award winner when he was with the San Diego Padres in 2007.
Popped up short left. And Piazza with the catch, 1 away. Here's what you were talking about earlier today, Robin Ventura. I'm guessing this wasn't an optional workout.
No, it was mandatory. You see all the coaches right there. This is infield. You see the outfielders right there working on hitting the cutoff man and just doing everything you try to do throughout a ball game. And This was early this afternoon, and they'll continue to do that for some reason. Very poor defense. 29 errors made by the White Sox already, and this is their 37th game.
Errors in 5 straight games, 8 errors in fact over those 5 games. 1-0 to Chris Parmelee.
And it's not only the errors. We're just saying 29 errors because that's the numbers. It's the little things like Arcia getting that little flare in the left field late in the ball game that created a big inning that ended up being a double where that ball should have been caught. Those are the little things that you don't want to happen on a nightly basis.
Parmelee flips it foul, 1-2. Well, after the game last night, Robin Ventura didn't even try to veil his threats. He said, look, at some point you either have to pay attention out there or we'll get different people out there who will be paying attention. And I think specifically he was talking about missed cutoff men and just being focused on what you're doing out there in the field instead of, like they always say, sometimes fielders are out there thinking about their next at bat or something else. 1-2 to Parmelee, and he takes up high. Parmelee and then Plouffe. Peavy looking in for the sign, now pitching with his 2-0 lead. High and tight, another full count. Morneau worked it full before lifting a fly ball to left. We'll see what happens to Parmelee.
Yeah, Peavy making his 289th Major League start, 124 Major League wins. 6 of those against the Twins.
Got him out in front on an off-speed pitch. Ranging back is Wise for out number 2. Here's some of the plays we were talking about last night.
Wow, that's a double play ball right here that wasn't turned. You see Ramirez trying to flip the ball rather than just do it the right way. Here, Diaz throwing to the wrong base as the runner came from first to second. Flowers, just dropped that ball. He was not given an error on that, but that should have been an out. And that's that play I was talking about off the bat of Arcia. Somebody has to take charge right there.
A couple of outfield flies, 2 down. Here's Trevor Plouffe. And the Twins, to their credit last night, seemingly took advantage of every mistake the White Sox made.
Well, there's that saying in baseball, you don't want to give your opponent more than 3 outs, and that's what the White Sox did. And the Twins did take advantage of that extra out or 2.
Fouled back. 2 strikes to Plouffe.
Plouffe had a big 2-run double in the 4-run 3rd inning in last night's win over the White Sox.
1-2. Inside, 2-2.
Trevor Plouffe, 5 hits and 20 at-bats against Jake Peavy. 3 of the 5 hits doubles. Flowers, fastball away.
Fouled away. You talked about Peavy talking to himself out there, being pretty hard on himself. And watching him pitch the last few years, it's almost like he's not so concerned about the outcome of the at-bat, but the process. And not throwing the ball where he wants and not having command of his pitches within an at-bat.
And he'll make the adjustment very quickly.
Pop straight up in the air. Peavy giving way to the shortstop Ramirez. 3 fly ball outs and a 1-2-3 second. what Pedro Hernandez succeeded in doing last night. Leave the score 2-0 for a while. Put some zeros up there. What a gorgeous night. I'm not sure where all these degrees came from, and it's a shame we couldn't have borrowed some of them in April. But we've got game time temperatures of 90 or so here tonight. Here's Tyler Flowers, and he takes up an in-ball one. Flowers, De Aza, and Ramirez in the White Sox third inning. Just off the plate, 2-0.
Saw the low batting average of Flowers, but this young man has a lot of pop in his bat. Now the everyday catcher for Chicago with A.J. Pierzynski in Texas.
And A.J. ready to come off the disabled list. He's been swinging a bat. Hopes to come off in about a week.
I think it's only the second time that Pierzynski has been on a disabled list.
He's been on a lot of other lists, though. Squirted foul into the seats.
Flowers picked up a couple hits in last night's ball game.
Souvenir of a beautiful summer's night at Target Field. 2-2. Slow breaking ball beaten foul off his foot.
Correa making his 8th start of the season, his 167th major league start. Has 64 wins, 67 losses.
If you don't mind looking through the foul screen. Interesting angle of home plate from the left field area. 2-2 to Tyler Flowers. It's just the 25th pitch of the night for Kevin Correa. Strikeout. First down to the third inning.
And the first strikeout for Correa.
Get interactive with us during the broadcast with our AT&T Twitter poll. The series we're asking you who had the better catch against the White Sox. Torrey Hunter right there. Or last night, Aaron Hicks. Right there. Use the following hashtags: Hicks catch or Hunter catch. And we'll keep this running through tomorrow's series finale. It's interesting, both those catches against the White Sox, and in each case, had it been a home run, the game would have been tied. And Hicks will hit for the Twins in the third inning, and see if he gets to first base, and Adam Dunn asks him about taking a home run away from him. 2-0 to De Aza. This to left center field. Willingham over, and it's Hicks making the catch. 2 away. That'll bring up Ramirez. You can be a part of our broadcast by voting for who you think is the Arby's Value Player of the Game. Text value, a space, and the player's last name to 234-234. Let us know who you think had the most value in today's game, and we'll tell you the winner in the postgame show. Ramirez drove a sharp single to left field in the first inning. Breaking ball, strike one.
Ramirez has always been a good hitter against the Twins, a career .312 hitter.
Papa. Almost the same spot where out number 2 was caught.
Good inning.
Back to center, and Hicks with the catch. A little wind carrying that ball out near the warning track. Good third inning for Correa. Presented by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. Oswaldo Arcia on the first pitch pops it foul over the Chicago dugout, 1 strike. It'll be a couple of rookies, Hicks following Arcia, and then Florimo. Hicks tying Arcia now in home runs, each rookie with 3. Inside, 1-1. Arcia, the designated hitter. Twins don't want him to spend too much time in that DH spot. Chopper, right side. Dunn flips to Peavy, 1 away.
Batting 8th, center fielder number 32, Aaron Hicks.
And Hicks, who last night had his best night as a major leaguer. If you ever needed to reinforce the idea, it's what have you done for me lately business. How about that for muted applause? There's hardly any after.
I thought they were going to give him a standing ovation.
Outside to Hicks. You know, one thing that's interesting about his season, and obviously a 152 batting average is disappointing to everybody, including Aaron. There are only 2 Twins that have scored more runs than he has. He scored 16 runs this year. And only Mauer and Morneau just by 1 more run, have scored more runs than this guy, who's spent now, I think, more time hitting 8th than leadoff. So he's a guy who, once he gets on base, has the speed and the wherewithal to come around and score.
Well, he's a guy who gets on base. He has 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts. Also a guy, once he gets on first base, he can go from first to third where, you know, Justin and Joe may not be as quick. So, yeah, get him on base. Let him use some of that ability. Steal a base, get on base, hopefully score.
Swing and a foul. Under the assumption that he's going to hit much better than he has so far, you're looking at a guy who, you know, some guys are run producers. Oswaldo Arcia looks like he's going to be a run producer. A lot of runs batted in for him. Hicks is one of those guys that looks to be a top run scorer. Bounce to the right side, another chance for Dunn. 2 down. And that'll bring up Florimo. You can ask us a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Tim in Rochester wondering, do you think the Twins have shown more swagger this season than in the past couple of years?
I don't know. I don't think you can compare the 35 games the Twins have played to the last couple of years. I mean, the last couple of years have been very frustrating. So I think what we're seeing, and we showed it, you know, in the pregame about how the offense has really picked it up here in the month of May. Twins averaging almost 7 runs a game over the last week, but almost 6 in the month of May. All comes down to pitching and defense, and hopefully the starters can go deeper into ball games.
You know,
I like that, what the staff is trying to do.
But I was talking with somebody this afternoon right after I got to the ballpark. Maybe the most encouraging thing about this Twins team is the fact that they're above the 500 mark, and the starting pitching has not been very good.
No, not yet.
And yeah, that's the key. Not yet. That it will get better. And Correa certainly can't be blamed for the poor start that the starters have had to the season. Up high to Florimo, 3-1.
Well, Florimo doesn't like it at all.
Call that a strike?
Yeah, Jordan Baker calling that high pitch.
Getting a little heat from the Twins dugout, too. 2-2 to Florimo.
So what does Peavy do? Goes right there again.
This time called a ball. By the way, Jordan Baker, born in 1981, an Oklahoma native, which might keep Ron Gardenhire in the dugout tonight. Fellow Okie.
Fastball away.
And a strikeout. And Peavy's faced the minimum through 3. back-to-back home runs.
Yeah, Adam Dunn against Kevin Correa leading off the second inning. And then Viciedo goes big time. And Jake Peavy, 3 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed. That coming off the bat of guess who? Joe Mauer.
So in the 4th inning, it'll be Rios, Dunn, and Viciedo. Rios hit the ball sharply in the 1st inning, but on the ground righted Brian Dozier, who started an inning-ending double play. Check swing. 2-0.
Great pitch count so far after 3 innings. Only 30 pitches used by Kevin Correa.
Called strike. 2-1. Correa looking for his 5th win of the year. Just a little bit off the top 10 charts for ERA of a pitcher. Foul back 2-2.
Twins signed him as a free agent over the winter to a 2-year contract. Coming from the Pirate organization. Originally came up to the big leagues with the Giants and then spent some time with the Padres.
Tapper up the line, foul. Still 2-2. Today is for ALS Day at Target Field. ALS has affected both the Minnesota Twins and people across Twins territory. For more information on the ALS Association and ways to help, visit www.alsmn.org. And some upcoming events, as you see there. June 1st, the ice will be off the lakes for the walleye tournament. A liner out of the reach of Florimone to left center field, and Rios will hold up with a leadoff single. Correa leaving a pitch up a little bit, and Rios driving it into left center for a leadoff hit.
Not a bad pitch. A little slider. And Rios just getting the barrel of the bat on it and lining it into left center.
Now Dunn, who hit a home run to left center field, his 7th home run of the year. Fastball off the plate.
Well, Correa has faced Dunn before. Dunn has faced Correa when they were both in a National League. 4 hits right now and 10 at-bats with a couple home runs against Kevin Correa.
Down and in, 2-0. Correa has gotten 2 ground ball double plays. Tap foul. 2-1.
Adam Dunn, 33 years old, in his 3rd season with the White Sox. I think you mentioned it last night. You know, he's still striking out once every 3 times, but it's the walks that he's not taking.
Yeah.
105 walks last year, even though he hit only 204 for the White Sox.
Swing and a miss. 2-2. Just what we were imagining in April when we were shivering. Gorgeous night for baseball. 2-2 to Dunn. Tapper right side foul. Correa has faced Dunn now 10 times, given up a couple of home runs, struck him out 3 times. And there's a strikeout.
And Correa picks up his second strikeout. So a long at bat for Adam Dunn against Correa, and Correa finally gets him on the outer half of the plate.
So one down, and that brings up Viciedo. Strike right down the middle.
Viciedo just activated off the disabled list. He was put on April 20th with a left oblique strain. Activated about 4 days ago. Viciedo in his 4th season, really is starting his 2nd full season with the White Sox.
Nicknamed the Tank. High and tight.
Viciedo, only 24 years old, from Cuba.
The White Sox have Viciedo, Ramirez from Cuba. You look at their lineup, really it's been this way for some time. One of the reasons they are concerned in Chicago. Check swing. Did he go? Yep. One of the reasons they're concerned is their farm system just has not been very productive.
No.
Particularly among position players. You'd be hard pressed to come up with an impactful product that they've had going back to Robin Ventura and Frank Thomas. Gordon Beckham, maybe. Outside a ball. But just from memory now, without looking in the media guide, I've been trying to think of somebody who came up and really had a great impact. Someone who was drafted and developed in the minor league system. 2-2. Runner goes and the pitch flipped foul. Rios had a good break, but he'll retreat to first.
Had a very good jump.
Robin was one of the best.
6-time Rawlings Gold Glove winner at third base.
Had an interesting situation play out with him during the offseason. They approached him about a contract extension, and he goes, "Well, let's just wait and see." Swinging a foul. Ventura was shocked. A lot of people by being offered the job before the 2012 season. Obviously did a great job. And they thought, well, maybe we'll re-up him, but he wasn't too committed to it over the winter. 2-2 to Diane Viciedo. Long look in by Correa. Driven down the right field line deep. But foul. And suddenly you look up and Correa's about to throw his 50th pitch here.
That's why innings like 1, 2, 3, where he just had 30 pitches, are important to have innings that you only need, a certain amount of pitches. Because when you have this type of inning that he had with Dunn, about 6, 7 pitches, finally struck him out. Viciedo here seeing a lot of pitches.
Might be the third double play. Very nicely turned, and Correa ends up facing just 3 men in the 4th inning. Out on top. There are Pepsi fans of the game. Yep. Senioritis. Some 2013 graduates here at the ballpark instead of doing their homework.
Yeah, young ladies, you are all here by circle.
Twins tickets remain available and affordable. Get fed and entertained starting at just $13. Sports Authority Value Pack Tuesdays and Thursdays include a ticket, hot dog, and a soft drink. This and other special deals available every day of the week at twinsbaseball.com/tickets or at 800-33-TWINS. I know you were very studious and buckled down till the very end.
What'd you say?
I had a little dose of senioritis. It was in my sophomore year, actually. I had a hard time focusing in the last couple of weeks of school. Fouled away by Dozier, 1-1.
I had 4 years of that.
Of your sophomore year?
Yes.
Peavy's been in control. He gave up a first inning single, but still has faced the minimum number of batters through 3. Dozier hit a bouncer to third his first time up. 2-1.
Well, Peavy had a couple starts pushed back, and he missed a couple starts due to back spasms. Making his 7th start here.
And another foul. Twins scratched across 1 run against Peavy in Chicago on a cold Saturday afternoon earlier this year. Ended up winning the game in extra innings.
Well, that was the RBI single by Josh Willingham. His only hit against Jake Peavy.
Ever.
Yep.
Willingham 1 for 19 against Peavy after his ground ball double play in the first inning. He'll get another shot at him here in the 4th. 2-2 to Dozier. Strikeout. Foul tip. Flowers hung on. 1 away.
Peavy picking up his 2nd strikeout.
And Mauer will come to the plate after already getting a base hit, extending his hitting streak to 12.
Yeah, I mean, should be 13. 13-game hitting streak for Joe Mauer with that base hit in his first at bat. But what can you say about Joe Mauer? He's having an outstanding month of May. And knowing Joe Mauer, he'll carry it all the way through the summer.
And a strike. Month of May, pretty good for Joe. Remember the year he won the league MVP award. He didn't play at all in April. And bashed the ball from his first at bat all the way through the month of May. Swing and a miss, 2 strikes.
That in 2009.
He hasn't hit but 2 home runs this year, but it's almost like he's had 4 different streaks already this year. Really bad streak, a really good streak, a really bad streak, and a really good streak. Which is odd because having seen just about every one of his at-bats in person, he's probably the most consistent hitter the Twins have had in the last 20 years.
I'm surprised his longest hitting streak is only 16.
Yeah.
And that you have to go back to 2008. You would think he would be in the 20s for sure. And maybe this is the beginning of a long hitting streak at 13. Right back to Peavy.
And he underhands it to Dunn, 2 down. Celebrate with the Twins the 20th anniversary of The Sandlot, with a special screening on the Target Field scoreboard Sunday after the Twins game. Special guests include the director and narrator David Mickey Evans, plus Ham and other members from the cast. What happened to Squints? Anyway,
in the backyard.
Ham's going to be here
with Beast.
Get your tickets, go to the game, watch the Sandlot screening, and if you can't make it to the game, watch it all from home on Sunday Fox Sports North. Here's Josh Willingham, 1-0. Willingham wrapped into a double play in the first inning. And yeah, just 1 for 19 in his career against Jake Peavy. Bounced foul. Remember years ago, Mark Burley had a absolute ownership of Jock Jones. I mean, Jones was 20 some at bats, couldn't get a hit, finally got a hit, and Burley, always had kind of a unique sense of humor, offered Jock Jones the baseball at first base. And Willingham takes a strike, 1-2. You remember a guy that you absolutely owned
No.
Okay.
I'm sure there was some that didn't have success against me, but not somebody off the top of my head.
And
I respected every hitter that went up there.
Willingham strikes out. Peavy has a 1-2-3-4.
Fifth inning. It is a beautiful night out here at Target Field. A great night for a first Twins game. We've got a 4-month-old little baby. He already has a Twins bib on, and Mom and Dad have a great Circle Me Bert sign that says 239 days until his birthday. We get him going early here, don't we?
Oh, absolutely.
How much memorabilia do you think you already have for your 4-month-old son?
We actually have a lot because we did the Twins Caravan in January when he was only 2 weeks old. We got autographs and pictures and stuff with some of the players. So.
All right. Well, great. He's going to be a Twins fan, no doubt about that. We're actually going to give you guys $100 worth of scratch-off tickets from the Minnesota Lottery because you're in the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And thanks for being here tonight. Bert, I know you are a big fan of birthdays. Yes. We are already counting down.
I sure am. 339, I believe. So that would be right around May 1st that baby was born. So congratulations to you couple right there. And you are hereby circled. And, by the way, 328 more days until my birthday.
Okay. Where are we going to be next year on your birthday?
I don't know.
We were probably Baltimore again. It seems like
last 2 years have been in Baltimore.
Gillespie swings and misses 1-2. Gillespie, Keppinger, and Wise.
Connor Gillespie in his first season with the White Sox spent some time with the Giants before getting traded over the winter to the White Sox.
Talked about the White Sox and their farm system not producing much. They acquired Konerko in a trade
from the Dodgers or Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Mike Cameron, I think, went to the Reds. That's how long ago that was. Popped up backing out of play. But what they've done, to the surprise of many, they've assumed other teams' contracts, if you will, other teams' mistakes. Alex Rios, Adam Dunn, Jake Peavy signed a deal with the Padres, and then the Padres decided they didn't want to pay him anymore, so the White Sox obliged, worked out a deal. It's a unique way of doing business, but it's necessitated when your farm system isn't productive. That's quite a contrast from where the Twins think they are right now. They've got, they think, a competitive team this year based largely on homegrown products. And then, if not next year or the following year, the year after that, the likes of Sano, Rosario, Buxton, Gibson, May, Meyer, Now, some of those names coming to the Twins in trade,
right?
But at the minor league level, not the big league level. 2-2 to Gillespie.
I think that's why we saw some of the trades of some of the names that you mentioned, Dick. You had to give up Span Revere, but the Twins minor league system doing very well, especially in Fort Myers and also in, I believe it,
Cedar Rapids.
Yeah,
they're holding their own in New Britain and in Rochester, recovering from a slow start. Full count to the leadoff man here in the 5th. And a foul back. Correa having some longer at bats here.
Well, a couple strikeouts for Correa, no walks. He came into this ball game only 7 walks in 47 innings pitched.
Keppinger on deck. He's been there for a while. Sharply on the ground. Actually 3 hops to Dozier. 1 down. And that will finally bring up Keppinger. The Big Ten baseball tournament is coming to Target Field next week. You can check out the Big Ten's best May 22nd through the 25th. First time the Big Ten has held its baseball tournament in a major league facility. Tickets are available. Find out how to take advantage of Big Ten baseball at Target Field by calling 833 Twins for ticket prices and details. Here's Keppinger, bounced into a double play his first time up. 1-0. On the ground to short, dug out by Florimone. 2 down.
Good strong throw right there by Florimone.
2 away, and that brings up Dwayne Wise.
Showing off that young arm right there. Florimone getting it on that little short hop and then setting up and a rocket over to Justin.
Wise smooth. With a pop-up.
Very smooth.
Yeah. I think the definition of routine play has changed here already this year. He made that look like a routine play, but yet that's precisely the type of play that challenged Nishioka, among others, at short the last 2 years. 2 strikes to Wise. Pulled foul. Wise back with the White Sox. He's been the definition of a journeyman outfielder. Bounced around.
He's played with Toronto a couple times. Actually 3 times with Toronto.
Ooh. Carrillo is heading towards the dugout. Two and 2. Last night's home plate umpire, since I referenced him, I've looked him up in the umpire media guide. Manny Gonzalez was just added to the major league staff full-time this year. That's why we haven't seen much of him. There's Gonzalez. Venezuelan native. As baseball has reached for decades into Venezuela to get players, now it's nice to see umpires coming from some of the same parts of the world that produce players.
As a former player, now we sit up here, Dick, or I do, and I look and I say, yeah, the umpire behind home plate, there was no controversial call, so he did a great job.
Parmalee with a nice running catch and threw a lot of pitches, but Correa has another 1-2-3 inning.
couple long home runs by the White Sox give them a 2-0 lead. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins. Hello, pretty girl. And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
White Sox have had a couple of their big guys hit home runs here tonight. We'll see what the Twins' big guys can do here in the fifth. Hit hard to center field. Wise going back. He won't catch it. And Morneau squares one up again and has another ringing double. This is fun to watch, in part because of what it can mean for this Twins team. This is the best 2 weeks of hitting the baseball Justin's had since his concussion.
Yeah, Justin, who got 3 hits in last night's ball game, 2 doubles. Waits back nicely, showing off that power. The ball up in the strike zone, but strong enough to hit it over the head of Wise for the second hit for the Twins.
We'll bring up Parmalee, who's had some success against Peavy. 5 hits, 12 at bats, and he squirts one to left. Piazza is there for the catch. One away.
Yeah, not the out you want right there. You'd like to advance Justin over to third if you could. Take another look at Justin. The pitch up in the zone, but look how quick he got that barrel of the bat out and made great contact.
It's so hard to draw conclusions from a snapshot, but that's exactly the type of pitch we saw Justin foul back throughout the month of April, and now he's catching up with however hard Peavy threw it. Pitches up around the letters, and he still squared it up. Here's Plouffe. Twins need to get Morneau in from second here in the 5th inning. Strike call. Only one Twin has hit a home run against Peavy, and that was Joe Mauer. Twins are a home run away from tying the game. And Plouffe takes strike 2. Chipped foul down the right field line. Peavy coming right at him.
Yeah, Peavy making his 13th career start against the Twins. And he's a guy that the White Sox look at, him and Chris Sale, as guys that will go out and throw quality starts, outing after outing. 5 of his 6 starts prior to this were quality starts. 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less.
Foul.
His only hiccup came in Washington, where he gave up 6 runs in 5 1/3 innings, took the loss in that ball game.
He had a start skipped a couple of times because of some back tightness, and from a distance it seemed scarier than it actually was given his history. 2 strikes to Plouffe, and a ball 1-2. Missing time a couple years ago when his lat muscle came completely detached from his skeleton. An unusual injury, and one that no pitcher has even tried to come back from. But here he is, seemingly as good as ever. And a changeup strikes out Plouffe.
Just took something off, kept it down. Peavy picking up his 4th strikeout. Well, Jake Peavy making his 13th career start, 6-3, very good earned run average. Last year, of course, the White Sox Twins in our division face each other so many times. Peavy, 4-1, very good ERA, and has enjoyed pitching here at Target Field.
Here's Arcia, who had his first at bat against Hicks leading off the 3rd inning. He bounced out to Adam Dunn. Off the plate, ball 1. Changeup gets a swinging strike. pitcher on the mound with a world of experience, a former Cy Young Award winner. And Arcia with just a handful of at-bats.
Just turned 22 5 days ago.
Base hit right field. Morneau around third. They're going to wave him in. Rios' throw coming through, and Morneau is safe at the plate. He skipped the tag. Flowers never put the glove on him. And the minor league call-up umpires getting an earful, 2 ears full from Robin Ventura and Jake Peavy.
Well, Arcia picking up an RBI single. Justin. Joe Vavra telling him to come home. A good strong throw by Rios. One hops Flowers.
Flowers, I think, claiming the tag was made, not there, but there. Brushing his shoulder. You can see Flowers looking at the ump, and Morneau realizing no call had been made.
I think when Flowers went back for the second tag.
Right there, and you can see he did get him on the left shoulder.
Yep.
Morneau was tagged right there. So the Twins catch a break, and Morneau with some, I don't know, kind of, does a hockey player ever want to be called an acrobat? But an acrobatic slide, it's 2-1. Here's Hicks. Ball one.
Well, he tried to get that left hand on the plate, but Flowers was protecting that plate. Twins get a break. Arcia picks up an RBI, his 13th of the year.
One thing we've seen too, we've seen Joe Vavra and the Twins much more aggressive, sending Morneau around third base, when in the first few weeks there were, understandably perhaps, Justin was kind of treated with kid gloves, not wanting to risk a collision. The image I have of a Twin sliding at home plate the last 3-4 weeks has been that of Justin doing it. He's probably been involved in more close plays at home than any other Twin player. 2-0 to Hicks. See what he gets to hit here with the tying run at first and 2 out. Takes ball 3. This is the patience and maturity that Ron Gardenhire talked about. Hicks doesn't get over eager at the plate when he's feeling good at the plate. Florimone on deck.
See if he takes a pitch here.
Got green lighted, and he popped it up. And Hicks green lighted on 3-0. It ends the inning, but the Twins get one back on a 2-out hit by Oswaldo Arcia and an interesting slide by Justin Morneau. Tyler Flowers at the plate facing Kevin Correa. Up the middle, first pitch hammered to center for a leadoff single, which frankly hasn't meant much for the White Sox. Their singles have all been erased by double play.
Yeah, 3 double plays turned by the Twins defense behind Kevin Correa. The 4-6-3 in the first, the 6-4-3 in the second, and another 6-4-3 in the fourth inning.
Correa's induced 5 ground balls, or had, in his prior starts as a Twin. 3 already tonight, trying to get De Aza here in the 6th. Only in the second inning, when the White Sox first 2 batters hit home runs, has Correa faced more than 3 batters in an inning.
Yeah, there's only been 1 man left on base, and that was Arcia, against
for either team. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. 1 strike to De Aza. And the ball, 1-1.
.71 pitches for Kevin Correa. Starting his 6th inning of work.
Outside. 2-1. That's down the left field line, chased by Willingham. Just foul. Not by much. There's not much foul territory down there.
That ball kept slicing down that line and lands about 3-4 feet foul. De Aza, surprising power, 7 home runs on the year. Right into that corner. Bounces into the crowd.
2-2 to De Aza. Flowers not much of a threat to steal. And an off-speed pitch, flip foul. Just a scheduling update. The Twins and Angels have finally agreed on a makeup date for a rainout here earlier in the year. It's September 9th. It's an off day on your schedules. And the Angels will stop in Minnesota on their way back east to play a night game on Monday, September 9th. Pulled foul. So all the 4 postponements that the Twins have had have either been made up, one of them, or the dates for makeup have been established for the other 3.
We have a doubleheader in Chicago, our next trip in. Very good pitch count. What makes it right now is the first 3 innings, only total of 30 pitches. He attacked the strike zone early. He did give up a couple home runs, but good inning here. He can get 6 or 7 in.
Line sharply to center. Flowers will hold up, and a long at bat by De Aza ends up with a base hit. At just 22 years old, rookie Oswaldo Arcia has been drawing early comparisons to Kirby Puckett with his aggressive approach at the plate. Read Tyler Mason's story on Arcia's journey growing up in Venezuela to the big leagues at foxsportsnorth.com. First and second. Nobody out, and here's Ramirez. Now Correa could really use a double play grounder. Plouffe playing in on the grass, and now he's going to come in and talk to Correa.
Yeah, thinking butt right here. Ramirez does not have a sacrifice on the year.
Morneau playing in front of the runner at first. Four, 6, 3. The fourth ground ball double play turned behind Correa.
I said Ramirez, you know, he's a 300-plus hitter against Twins pitching, and Robert Ventura said, go ahead and swing the bat. He jumped on that first pitch, and another double play turned by the Twins. Right off the end of the bat, sharply hit the Dozier, quick feed to Florimon, and just like that, 2 outs, runner at third.
So 2 down, Rios at the plate has hit into a double play and singled. Inside. This is the 36th game the Twins have played. They've now turned 36 ground ball double plays. Quick, what's that?
That's almost like 1 a game.
Bouncer, Florimon to his left, sets and fires, and Correa keeps the ball on the ground after the 2 singles start the inning. McDonald's. Right now, you can get 20 crispy chicken McNuggets for just $4.99 at McDonald's. And by Toyota. Let's go places. To find the nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Twins being out hit 7-3. They got a leadoff double in the 5th and somehow managed to score a run against Jake Peavy. It'll be Florimon leading off the Twins 6th.
Oh, nice jersey there.
I'm sorry, I didn't see. What was it? Jersey of
me. Blyleven.
Really?
Yeah.
1 strike to Florimon. Then Dozier and Mauer. There's a bunt, foul. Florimon tried to drop it, it looked like, in front of the third baseman, Gillespie.
Yeah, Gillespie was playing back a little bit. Nice try, but just fouled it off. That's about where Gillespie was when Florimon attempted to bunt.
Change up outside, 1-2. Peavy signed a 2-year extension with the White Sox during the offseason, but they would not give him a no-trade clause, meaning that if the White Sox aren't in the race this year or next, he can be traded presumably to a contender, and I suspect the line of teams that would be interested in Jake Peavy would be rather long.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think he has shown he is healthy again.
Florimon battling him here in the 6th. You look at the pitchers who were out there last year and were dealt. Dempster, Oswald signed with the Rangers. Fouled back again by Florimon.
Well, last year Peavy worked 219 innings in 32 starts. There are his career numbers. 13 complete games, 6 shutouts in his career.
1-2 to Florimon. Line almost out of the glove of Ramirez, with Florimon putting together a good at bat, lining out to his counterpart. Fox Sports North and the Twins have teamed up this season on a special campaign called Home Runs for Hunger, benefiting Feed My Starving Children. For each home run hit, a pledge of either 22 cents or $1.32 would be greatly appreciated. Once the Twins hit 130 home runs, you'll donate either $29 or $172. There's a little number. And Dozier quickly retired out number 2. The ball dropped. Dunn didn't catch the ball. It may have gone through the webbing of his glove.
He's walking back toward the dugout now. Both these shortstops, we showed Florimon's great arm, but Ramirez, just like Florimon, can throw that ball like a rocket across the infield. And that ball went right through the webbing of Dunn's glove. Take a look right here. Dunn has it, and it just went right through the webbing.
So while Dunn gets a new glove, look at that, right through the webbing. As of today, 105 fans have pledged to Home Runs for Hunger, and 221 children will be fed for a full year. And if you'd like more information, of course, visit fmsc.org/H4H. An error to Dunn.
Konerko says, here, try my glove.
6th game in a row where the White Sox have committed at least one error, and now here's Mauer.
That's a tough error right there.
I remember that happened to Scott Stahoviak. I don't even know if you were in the booth at that point. Stahoviak in the 9th inning had a ball go through his glove. Thankfully, it did not cost the Twins a ball game. There were enough other reasons the Twins lost ball games back then. Dave Morrell, the clubhouse guy on the road for the White Sox here. Called strike, 0-2 to Mauer.
It's his probably backup glove right there. Yeah, that might be the one that the ball just went through.
So Mauer in an 0-2 hole trying to take advantage of the extra out here in the 6th. Dozier capable of stealing a base. He's stolen 3 in 5 tries. Flowers pretty tough to run on. He's obviously not in the lineup because of his batting average. He's got power and he's tough to steal on. Ooh, just missed the inside corner.
Well, such a good eye at the plate. Peavy going inside.
Very close.
And the respect of Joe Mauer's eye at the plate.
1-2. That drifts outside. Looked like Peavy kind of turned that ball over a little bit.
A little change up right there. Same pitch he struck out Trevor Plouffe on. Just good location of that changeup down in the zone. Willingham on deck.
Dunn watches it all the way into his new glove. Mauer leading the world in doubles, and the Twins could use one here. Mauer with 15 doubles. Morneau next on the team with 11. Mike Napoli of the Red Sox actually leading the league with 17. Called third strike. And Mauer now has a beef with Jordan Baker.
Well, you saw the one inside a couple pitches ago that Joe took for a ball. So Peavy going back outside. Flowers holding it right there for a second, and Peavy picking up his 5th strikeout.
Here's Willingham, 0 for 2. Double play grounder and a strikeout, 1 for 20 against Peavy. Strike on the outside corner.
You know, last time Willingham was up, you asked me if there was somebody that, would you use the word owned?
Right.
But you know what? I'm sure Peavy knows that Willingham has had not very good success against him. These are the guys you don't want to face because you know that they're due.
Willingham is overdue. A foul, and it's quickly 0-2. And that tends to happen when a hitter's up there against a pitcher he's really struggled against, and then that's all magnified with the fact that Willingham legitimately is in one of the deepest funks of his career. His average is down to 198. It was a 2-out single in the 5th that led to the first Twins run.
A couple throwovers at first base. Dozier stole a base in last night's win.
Inside. Peavy, who nearly caught Mauer looking with a fastball in the inside corner, ended up getting him on a backdoor cutter on the next pitch. And close to getting Willingham there. 1-2. Time call. Inside. What makes the Willingham slump even more remarkable is he's hitting between 2 of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. You can imagine what this lineup would look like when Willingham starts hitting again.
Well, hopefully this right here. Well,
chopper foul wide of third. .91 pitches for Peavy as he hopes to close up shop here in the 6th inning. Two and 2 to Josh Willingham. Dozier goes. Hits ball 3. And Dozier's out at second base. He begs to differ. Wally Bell called him out. It looked from up here, and we're a long ways away, but it looked from up here like Dozier's hand got in. The inning ends. It's still 2-1. scratched a run across in the 5th. And we get ready to begin the 7th inning. Jake Peavy has bottled up the Twins lineup that had been very productive the last week or so. Adam Dunn pulls the first pitch foul over by the Twins dugout. Dunn, Viciedo, and Gillespie here in the 7th.
Yeah, it was Adam Dunn that put the White Sox on the board with that solo home run leading off the 2nd inning, and then Viciedo followed with a home run. Correa starting his 7th inning.
1-1. Correa hoping that the Twins again tonight can rebound from an early 2-0 deficit to win a ball game. Tougher assignment tonight, though, the way the Chicago starters pitching. 2-1 to Dunn. Again, we expect Paul Konerko to be back in the lineup, probably at first base tomorrow. Bouncer right side. Dozier in short right field. Throws in time to get him. And here comes Robin Ventura, and I don't think Dan Bellino got that one right. Wally Bell did get the call right at second base. Upon replay, Dozier did look like he got tagged, but I don't know about this one.
I mean, Dunn, this is a normal ground ball to second base, but you could see where Dozier was playing in short right field. And Dozier, like an outfielder, had to throw, and you can see Dunn safe.
The ball was 5 feet from Morneau's glove.
Right. Another gift for the Twins.
So the White Sox feel, justifiably, they were jobbed at home plate, and now at first base. Here's Viciedo. Ventura, by the way, yesterday in the dugout was talking about his only ejection of the year last year. He hasn't been ejected this year. Down and away, ball 1.
A couple more calls like that might be his first this year.
Viciedo with a homer and a ground ball double play. 1-0. 2-0. Correa hasn't walked anyone. Giving up the 2 home runs and 5 singles. And he missed a 4-pitch walk. So Viciedo aboard, and that'll set up another ground ball double play. Grand Casino story of the game so far.
Well, the 2 home runs, Dunn saying, Hicks, see if you can catch that one. Viciedo hitting it into the 3rd deck here at Target Field. And Jake Peavy, 6 very good innings. He's allowed only 3 hits. Twins scored the run on a questionable call at home plate.
Here's Gillespie. Single and a ground ball, and Mauer will go to the mound with Correa misfiring 5 pitches in a row. No activity in either pen, and here we are in the 7th inning, and we haven't said that very often this year.
Kind of sense at the beginning of the game with Correa and Peavy that it was going to be a good pitcher's duel.
You didn't think it was going to be 12-11?
No.
Still got some time.
We still have time, yes.
2-0, 6 straight out of the strike zone by Correa.
think Gillespie has to take a pitch here, which he does.
Tigers have opened up a 6-2 lead on the Astros, bottom of the 8th inning at Comerica Park. A tight, taut ball game here tonight. Gillespie playing at third base. It's been kind of a revolving door over there for the White Sox. There's a strike on the outside corner ever since Joe Creedy left. A lot of different players, but no one who's really anchored the position on a regular basis, year in, year out. I guess you could say the same for the Twins since Corey Kosky left.
Right.
2-2 to Gillespie. Can they do it 5 times? Morneau there. Safe at first. Nice stop by Morneau, picking off that first hop before it went through the hole. 2 away.
You know, you come out early, you watch batting practice, you see a lot of this. You know, somebody hitting Justin ground balls on this play, reaches out, nice play, picks up, makes a nice feed over to Florimon. The pitcher Correa over there to cover first base. And Gillespie stayed out of their 5th double play.
And I think what you just saw in Justin's case is one of the reasons why he's emerging as a similar player as he's been before all the issues began, because he's playing first base on a daily basis. Remember, a year ago he'd be at first base, he'd DH a couple of days, he'd get a day off, and he genuinely dislikes DHing. He wants to be in the field.
And he has been flawless in the field, yet to make an error at first base.
Fly to left, harmless enough. In fact, hit right at Willingham. And a good 7th inning for Kevin Correa on just 93 pitches. There's a chance he might pitch in the 8th. Worst thing of this for Bryce Harper is he had to shave his beard.
That's unbelievable what he did right there. Lost sight of where he was and went face first into that scoreboard at Dodger Stadium.
Had to shave his beard to stitch up the cut that he received. And I saw that, and the first thing I thought of course, was Butch Husky. Yeah. About 12 years ago at the Metrodome, 15 years ago, whenever it was, when he leaped into the wall in left field at the Metrodome. Allen Good ball game here, a 2-1 ball game, and Willingham, Morneau, and Parmalee will face Peavy in the 7th. Here's a drive to right center field. This is back. It is off the wall. And Willingham with a leadoff double. He got a fresh count after Dozier was thrown out trying to steal, and he nearly hit one out.
What were we talking about last inning? When a guy has not had success against you, you just know his time is coming. Only his 2nd career hit against Jake Peavy. A little spinner right there, and Willingham just taking it to right center. High off the scoreboard for a double, his 8th double of the year.
Looks like it landed about a half the way up the scoreboard. Now here's Morneau, and he takes strike 1. Morneau drilled a double off the center field fence, leading off the 5th. And eventually the Twins got Morneau around after the Arcia hit. He doubled his batting average against Jake Peavy with 1 swing. Willingham back to the bag with Ramirez cutting behind him.
Yeah, that's the daylight play that Ramirez put on right there between he and Peavy. Keeping Willingham close to the bag.
One strike to Morneau. Wanted to hit that slider down and in. A wave and a miss. 0-2. Look at that. .299 the average for Morneau. Fly ball left field. Diaza makes the play. Willingham played it halfway, 1 away. So Morneau frustrated he wasn't able to advance Willingham up a base. And now Parmalee. Parmalee with a couple of outfield flies. Now 5 for 13 against Peavy. Strike call. Inside, and he couldn't check his swing. 0-2.
Peavy bearing down here with that leadoff double to Willingham. .98 pitches for Jake Peavy. No walks, 5 strikeouts.
And Parmalee gone on 3 pitches, 2 down.
And make it 6 strikeouts.
That'll leave it to Trevor Plouffe.
Well, he went inside a couple times and then the fastball away, and Parmalee swinging through it.
Plouffe with a pop up to short and a strikeout, and the Twins are dangerously close again to wasting a leadoff double. They got a hit from Arcia in the 5th to score Morneau, and now they need something from Plouffe. Up and away.
Now 100 pitches, 67 strikes. Good strike to ball ratio.
Half swing, but a strike.
That's what good pitchers can do. You know, late in a ball game like this, just find that little extra. The leadoff double, able to get Justin to hit a fly ball to left field to strike out a Parmalee.
1-1. 2-1. And when you say a little extra, sometimes it doesn't mean extra velocity, extra good location.
Little extra focus.
Yeah,
you know that you can't make a bad pitch right here. Game on the line. Base hit right here would tie the game. A worse pitch might put the Twins up.
2-1. To center. Down for a hit. Willingham around third. Here's a throw from Wise, and the Twins have tied it up. Plouffe has the ability to get back to the bag. No one is there, and another big 2-out hit has tied the game. Broke his bat. Didn't matter. And the Twins take advantage of the leadoff double.
Yeah, it looked like it was right off the end of the bat, and the ball kind of squirted into center field. Plouffe picking up a big RBI. No close play at home this time. Wise comes in. See, right off the end of the bat, hit softly into center field. With 2 outs, Willingham off with a crack of the bat. Wise's throw on the third base side. And Justin and the Twins saying yes. Way to pick me up. Game tied at 2 apiece.
Now Arcia bouncing at left side. Great stop by Ramirez. What a sensational play. Going into a slide before he caught the ball. Would look to be a base hit. Instead is the 3rd out. His only other hit started what turned out to be a game-tying rally. The double that started the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, Trevor Plouffe with a big 2-run single right there, tied the game at 2 apiece. And Kevin Correa out there for his 8th inning of work.
To right center field. Hicks is going to try to chase it and get it back in quickly. Wise digging for second. Here's the throw. It hits the runner. And it's a first pitch double here in the 8th for Dwayne Wise. So just like that, the White Sox are threatening to retake the lead.
Yeah, Wise jumping on that first pitch. Fastball away, hitting it to right center. Hicks does a great job of getting to this ball. Spins and gets it back in as quick as he can. But Wise, even at 35 years old, good speed as he slides safely into second base.
Twins actually got lucky. That ball could very easily have been deflected into left field. Corner infielders even with their bases. The number 9 batter Flowers at the plate. Down and in, ball 1. No indication of a bunt. He does not bring to the plate the physique of a bunter. Guys, what, 250, 240, something like that?
Yeah, I guess the White Sox, they do not bunt at all. They only have 1 sacrifice on the year.
Listed at 6'4", 245. You want to play in for a bunt? Do so at your own risk. Inside, 2-0. Flowers is hitting 204. He would be the guy to go after here, and you've got a base open. You can play around with some of the other hitters here, but this is the guy you want to get. Correa falls behind 2-0. 3-0.
Peavy cheering on his teammates.
Three and 0 to Tyler Flowers. And breaking pitch dropped over. .98 at bats, 31 strikeouts, 32 strikeouts for Flowers. Driven down the line. It'll put the White Sox in front. A 3-1 pitch. And the White Sox start the 8th inning with a pair of loud doubles.
Yeah, back-to-back doubles. Correa, the only pitcher to go out to the 8th inning so far this year. That was against Texas. But here in the 8th inning, back-to-back doubles puts the White Sox up 3-2. Flowers, who had 2 hits last night, picks up his 2nd hit here, driving in his 12th run. 3-1 pitch up. Flowers hitting it into that left field corner. Wise scores.
His battery mate likes it. Tap on the arm from Don Cooper. Not sure what that means, whether you're in or you're out. But you got the lead for Peavy again, and Ron Gardenhire is going to make a pitching change. Casey Fiend will come in.
Here comes Gumby again.
With the White Sox in front by a run.
The rivalry, whether or not you've always been a part of it, just kind of shows up.
I think they're our #1 rival, at least in my book.
You want to beat them just as bad as they want to beat you.
And Kevin Correa getting his first taste of the rivalry with the White Sox.
Yeah, first major league start, pitched okay, kept the club in the game. Just here in the 8th inning, back-to-back doubles give the White Sox a 1-run lead. Casey Fiend coming in. He worked the last inning last night. And a sacrifice right there.
Oh my! Fiend with a sinker, and Dozier stayed with it. The sacrifice advancing Flowers. One away. Peavy
a little upset that he gave up the tying run, but They take the lead on the double by Flowers. So now he's happy again. And Kevin Correa not a happy camper.
So now it's a one-run game, and Alexei Ramirez will hit with a partially drawn-in infield. Flowers is the runner at third, so the Twins don't need to bring the infield all the way in here. And a breaking ball and a sweeping swing and a miss by Ramirez. 7 innings plus for Kevin Correa, and in the last 4 starts, with one more coming before the off day Thursday. One strike to Ramirez, and a base hit to center, and the White Sox lead by 2. Ramirez went down and got one and got his second hit. And the book is closed now on Kevin Correa.
Well, again, Ramirez, one of those guys that has enjoyed hitting against the Twins. His second hit of the ball game, picking up his 8th RBI. Came into the game a .312 career hitter against the Twins. Not a bad pitch. Looked like it was down and in. But Ramirez just quickly getting the barrel of the bat out there and landing it in the center.
Now Rios at the plate. And Ramirez at first. There he goes on the first pitch. No chance for a throw. Fiend just pretty much ignored him, and he took off.
Yeah, Ramirez stealing his 7th base in 8 attempts.
Another runner in scoring position. Fouled back, 1-1. Anyway, the Twins starters, everyone but Mike Pelfrey, who will start tomorrow, in the last 4 games have pitched a total of 23 1/3 innings. A little less than 6 innings per start. Correa did his part, 7 good innings, but then immediate trouble in the 8th. 2-1. Diamond had a shorter start than he would like, getting into the 6th, but not through it. Three and 1 with Dunn on deck.
I think as the weather heats up, hopefully the starters will go a little bit deeper in the ball game. Numbers are final on Kevin Correa. 7+ innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, all earned, with a walk and 2 strikeouts.
Rios will be intentionally walked, with the count running to 3-1. So now first and second, and Ron Gardenhire is going to come out and make another pitching change with the left-hand hitting Dunn up. Looks like Brian Dunsing is ready to come in. So all of this, in essence, necessitated when Ramirez stole second. And we'll have another pitching change here in the 8th inning. the game. Deep to center field. Hunter to the wall. Did he get it? Oh, what a catch! Driven to deep center. That ball is tattooed. Hicks to the wall. Legs.
Did he catch it?
He caught it! Unbelievable! Now an updated look on our AT&T Twitter poll. Who had the better catch against the White Sox? And Torrey Hunter leading the voting as we speak. Final results in tomorrow afternoon's game against the White Sox.
Two great catches by two great athletes right there, Torrey Hunter and Aaron Hicks.
Adam Dunn with a home run to start the scoring. Since then, a strikeout and a botched call at first. He was called out.
Yeah, Dunsing hopefully get done out right here, making his 16th relief appearance. He last worked on Saturday against the Orioles, a couple shutout innings.
Breaking ball, called strike. Mauer
got crossed up.
Yeah, he might have got crossed up there. One strike. Dunn does have the home run, but he's had a curious series here. Had a home run taken away by the rookie Hicks in center field. Had a single taken away by Dan Bellino. Had a throw go through his glove at first base.
That you cannot control.
Check swing foul, 2 strikes. Well, I don't know. It's a good question to ask. How often does a first baseman or any fielder get their gloves relaced?
Well, I don't think relace. I think they look at him almost daily to see. I mean, this happened in the 6th inning. He's already caught so many balls, during infield between innings.
2 strikes to Dunn. I know it used to fall on the team's trainers to restitch gloves if somebody had a lacing issue. Two strikes to Adam Dunn. And a strikeout, his second of the game, third of the series.
On 3 pitches, Dunsing able to pick up the second out of the inning. Went to the breaking ball. Almost like a cutter. Dunn swung through it.
Here's Viciedo.
Of all the things the players have, the shoes, all that stuff, your glove is the most important thing in your locker.
And you, a pitcher, is saying that.
I watched many a player, everyday players, just kind of way they baby their gloves. Leo Cardenas he was my locker mate way back in the 70s, and he would pound out his glove daily almost like a pancake because he wanted that openness at shortstop where he could turn a double play. It was a ritual with him.
1-1.
Before the game, he would actually lay down a towel in front of his locker and with a bat just beat his glove almost like a pancake and then put it on, and it would almost be like your hand.
Really?
Flat. Yep.
One and one. A little dribbler up the line, a swinging bunt. Dunsing fires. Got him. And a heck of a catch by Justin Morneau, reaching into the runner.
A dangerous catch, but with great play by Dunsing getting over there and getting Viciedo for the final out.
White Sox jump back in front by 2.
inning. We are inviting you to join us for our Twins Live postgame show where we'll break down this rivalry game. We'll talk about a starters duel here at Target Field tonight between Jake Peavy and Kevin Correa. We'll also talk about the double plays on display for Minnesota tonight. And of course, hear from manager Ron Gardenhire. All that and much more on Twins Live. Dickenberg.
All right, thank you, Jamie. We'll see if the Twins can pull off some late inning magic. It's Hicks leading off the 8th inning for the Twins against former Twin Jesse Crain.
Yeah, Jesse Crain, he has been pitching outstanding. Last 13 scoreless outings. He has struck out 18 batters over 12 1/3 innings, making his 20th relief appearance.
Hicks, Florimon, and Dozier here in the Twins' 8th inning. Say that one of the things Crain has done more of, or a pitch he's used more of, is his curve. I always thought Jesse had a great breaking ball when he was with the Twins. Apparently relying on it more. And a fastball taken inside. It's 2-0.
Yeah, he's one of those relievers that has that good fastball in the low 90s, that slider, then the slower curveball.
Strike over the inside corner. Hicks with a ground ball and a foul out. Got the green light on 3-0 in the 5th inning with a runner at first and 2 away, and he popped up near the Chicago dugout.
There's a breaking ball right there in a fastball situation. 7 seasons Jesse Crain wore the Twins uniform in his 3rd season with the White Sox.
And contractually his final year, he got a 3-year deal from the White Sox to leave Minnesota. Breaking ball, that's the slower curve, and he missed. 3-2. Hicks simply trying to get aboard. White Sox got a leadoff double in the top of this inning and eventually scored a pair. Glove by the second baseman Keppinger. A soft line drive for the first out of the 8th inning. Let's get caught up.
Well, the White Sox on the board early. Adam Dunn and Viciedo hitting back-to-back home runs in the 2nd inning. Twins came back with a controversial call at home plate, but they was allowed a run when Justin Morneau slid in safely. And then Josh Willingham got a double. He scored a tying run. And then back-to-back doubles in the 8th inning. White Sox scored 2 in the top of the inning.
Here's Florimon. Here's strike 1. Florimon hit a line drive to Ramirez his last time up. Another off-speed pitch over for a strike. 0-2. I guess, as advertised, we've seen Crain throw about as many breaking balls as we've seen fastballs so far tonight. And Florimon lays off the high fastball.
Yeah, fastball clocked here at 94.
Bounce to first. Dunn to the bag. 2 down. And that'll bring up Brian Dozier. Dozier hitless tonight. Reached on a Dunn error. There's Ryan Presley warming up. It was Dozier reaching in the 6th after his ground ball to Ramirez was eventually thrown through the webbing of Dunn's glove. Outside, ball one. Dozier trying to keep the inning alive for Mauer. There's a breaking pitch on the outside corner. Dozier has hit the ball on the ground. We mentioned earlier tonight that Twins want him to do that rather than pop the ball up. He's been doing an awful lot of that. And he takes a fastball down the middle, a strike.
Straight over the top.
Right on the outside corner. What an inning for Jesse Crain. A strikeout of Dozier, shaving the outside corner with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. (4-2) White Sox as we go to the ninth inning. Brian Presley comes out of the Twins bullpen. He is the subject of our Century link to what's next.
He won his first major league game last Wednesday in Fenway Park. Twins won that game 15-8. Remember, he came in relief of Hernandez and pitched 4 shutout innings for his major league win, making his major league debut here, first major league appearance against the Chicago White Sox.
Gillespie, Keppinger, and Wise. Just outside ball one. Gillespie 1 for 3. Keppinger 0 for 3. Wise 1 for 3, but it was a big one. A leadoff double in the 8th. And that'll skip into center field, a base hit. Second single for Gillespie. And we'll see if Keppinger is asked to bunt. Keppinger with a couple of ground balls, one turned into a double play and a fly ball to left. Oh, you're right. They don't bunt.
No, the only Diaza bunted, and he's the only one that has a couple sacrifices on the year.
This guy's hitting 178.
Well, this is a guy that you could almost try a hit and run on because he doesn't walk much. He doesn't strike out much. Get the count in his favor. Counts 1-1 now.
Pitchers bounced into 4 double plays. Well, Robin Ventura had to field a million bunts when he was playing. Maybe he's sick of bunts. 1-2. Joe McEwing, a couple weeks ago, inducted into the Irish Baseball Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Joe.
Curve, got him.
Throws him right there.
You know, it's interesting that now Presley is pitching for the Twins after Crane was pitching for the White Sox, because when I see Presley when he's on top of his game, when he's got that good breaking ball, he reminds me a little bit of Jesse Crane.
Yeah, he really does. Straight over the top, too, as Jesse Crane is.
So 1 down, and here's Dwayne Wise.
It was Wise who jumped on the first pitch from Kevin Correa leading off the top of the 8th inning, and he hit that double.
White Sox haven't done all that much here tonight, but what they've done offensively, they've done in ambush mode. They jumped on Correa's early pitches in the 2nd inning with 2 home runs and a loud single. And then Wise jumped on the first pitch of the 8th inning. Flowers followed with a double later on, and before the inning was put to bed, the White Sox had a 2-run lead.
Well, again, when you're facing a guy like Jake Peavy, and Peavy ended up pitching well, he gave up a couple runs. 1 questionable run, but you knew it was going to be a tough matchup.
1 strike to Wise.
Madison Reed, the closer for the White Sox, getting loose.
And now a ball, 1-1. Will be followed by Flowers unless he bounces into the 5th double play for the White Sox tonight. Fouled away. 1-2. Presley steps off the rubber. Base hit to right field. And Gillespie checks in at second base. So now first and second, 1 away.
Yeah, the high fastball right there. Wise gets his 2nd hit. 12th hit for the White Sox.
Twins have the right guys due up in the bottom of the 9th. Mauer, Willingham, Morneau, Parmalee.
Yeah, fastball, but not a lot of movement. Stayed about belt high. And Wise opened up quickly, got his 2nd hit.
Imperative, you'd think, for Presley to keep this a 2-run game. Number 9 batter Flowers is up. He's got a couple of hits tonight. Breaking ball over. Flowers backed up Wise's double in the 8th with one of his own, driving one into the left field corner. One strike to the Chicago catcher. That time he was waiting for the breaking pitch and hammered it foul. Two strikes. Line to Morneau. A diving snow tag at first. Wise got back just in time. That's a heck of a base running play by Wise, because it looked like Morneau had him dead to rights.
Yeah, Flowers hitting it sharply, but Wise kind of dove away from Justin and able to get his hand on the bag. Ball hit sharply. Justin dove at Wise, but Wise able to jump on top of the bag almost.
You can see Wise spun his wheels trying to get back to the bag and actually fell. So 2 away, 2 on, and here's De Aza. Breaking ball, tap, foul. Morneau sharing a chuckle with presumably Wise. One strike. Fouled away. See a White Sox jersey with the number 30 on it. Left-handed batter like that, built like that, and I think of Tim Raines. Raines had about the same physique, didn't he?
Yeah, Raines, I think, was a little stockier than De Aza, but he's a good little player, De Aza. A little scrapping player.
Remember Raines hitting out of a crouch like that? Two strikes, and Presley with a long look in, and now Mauer's going to have a chat.
Might have been a situation where Presley wants to throw a certain pitch. Mauer maybe came back with a pitch that he thought, so now they're hopefully on the same page.
Presley got ahead of Flowers and gave up the liner to Morneau. Now 0-2 to De Aza. Tried to tease him with an off-speed pitch just off the plate. Moore, Willingham, and Morneau, the three batters that Reed will face. Squirted off the end of the bat to McEwing. Speaking of the Irish Baseball Hall of Fame, we got to get Tom Kelly in there.
Yes. I think you should write a letter.
One and two to De Aza. Up and away, 93-mile-per-hour fastball.
I take it you didn't want to write the letter?
Well, I don't know who to write it to.
Well, yeah.
I can Google the Irish Baseball Hall of Fame and get an address. Would you like to co-sign the letter?
Sure, I'd be honored to.
2-2 to De Aza. Breaking ball. Boy. Where did it miss?
Pretty good pitch right there.
Where did it miss? The prior fastball, I think, was intended to set this up. That was outside, wasn't it?
Down and away.
Yep. Full count. Ramirez on deck. Fly ball left field. Willingham retreating. That ends the inning. It will be Mauer, Willingham, and Morneau to try to get a couple of runs at least against the White Sox. Endings are imposed and inflicted. Struck him out. Got him. Breaking ball got him. How about the Twins bullpen? Finishes are earned and celebrated. A high drive. Deep left center field. Gone. And the Twins win it. It's the last word. The closing act. The final step. The whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish. A high fly to center field. This to the wall and lands on a warning track. Carroll scores. Dozier being waved around. And the Twins win it on a double by Eduardo Escobar. Yeah, something like that. That's what the Twins need.
That against the Tigers.
Mauer, Willingham, and Morneau. Then the Twins hope Parmalee Blue for as many as it takes to get a couple against a guy who's awfully tough.
Yes, he is. 11 saves and 12 saves opportunities for Addison Reed, making his 17th relief appearance.
And he misses with his first pitch to Joe Mauer. Mauer singled his first time up to extend his hitting streak. Since then, a one-hopper to Peavy, and then he was called out on strikes in the 6th. To left center field. Wise is there for the catch. I'm not sure Mauer can hit it any harder than he did. One down.
Yeah, Mauer caught up to that fastball, hit a line drive, but Wise is at the other end of that line drive for the first out.
Willingham, who exercised a demon in the 7th by getting an extra base hit against Peavy, will now try to get a board for Morneau here. Hitless in 5 at-bats against Addison Reed. Reed did walk him the last time he faced him. Down the middle, a strike. The Twins haven't seen much of Reed.
Yeah, he became their closer last year, saved 29 ball games for the White Sox, 62 relief appearances.
And another fastball and another called strike. Reared back and fired it past him. 3 fastballs, 2 away.
Old country hardball right there by Addison Reed.
So now a couple of lefties. The Twins hope a couple of lefties, starting with Morneau and then Parmalee behind him.
Yeah, Reed picking up his 22nd strikeout in 16 2/3 innings.
Morneau with a couple of flies to left and a double off the center field fence. Trying to keep the game alive with Parmalee in the on-deck circle. Strike. 5 pitches, 4 strikes. And I think all 5 pitches have been fastballs at 94 or above. There's a breaking pitch, and it's another called strike.
It's a slider. Reed, just 24 years old, out of San Diego State University, signed by the White Sox in 2010.
One and two. Ryan Domit would be available to hit. He's faced Reed 3 times and gotten 3 doubles against him, but the key here is getting Morneau on base. To left center.
That'll do it.
And we'll see what the Twins do with Parmalee or Domit. Morneau picks up his 2nd hit. And Escobar will run for Morneau. And Parmalee apparently going to get his chance here.
Well, good night at the plate for Justin Morneau. A couple hits, scored a run.
We might write down a batting average of 300 tomorrow. With Morneau 2 hits today, his average posted on the scoreboard here at 302. Now I see Ryan Domit on the leaning on the railing, so he's here and presumably available. And Domit 3 for 3 with 3 doubles against Reed. Batting gloves are on. See if Parmalee can extend the game, and then maybe Domit would hit for Plouffe. We'll see.
Well, Reed, this is his 17th relief appearance. He's yet to allow a home run.
And a high fly to right center field. And Wise squeezes it, and the White Sox beat the Twins for the first time this year.
Well, it was a pitcher's duel going in. Kevin Correa went into the 8th inning, but it was Jake Peavy who went through 7 very good innings. And then the bullpen, Jesse Crain, Addison Reed, finished it off.
Kind of looked like the White Sox team of old, Tom Hanneman. They hit a couple of home runs against the Twins and a couple of big doubles in the 8th inning.
Coming up on Twins Live, we'll discuss a starting pitching duel, and Twins defense has delivered 4 double plays. It was not enough, and we'll hear from Ron Gardner his thoughts of the Twins' 4-2 loss tonight at home.